Don't be alarmed, but the grass is disappearing on its own. Hello everyone, my name is Endeavour and welcome back to another episode of Modded Minecraft. Okay, so if you didn't see the last episode, this may be a little bit confusing, but all we're doing here is using the digital miner, which will mine any block in the world based on a configuration that you've set. So you set the filter to whatever you want, and here we've set it to grass blocks, and that is why it is ripping up all the grass blocks that are around us. And the plan for these is to take them back over to the Mushroom Island, which is that way. I think it's that way. And what we're going to be doing with those is replacing all the mycelium with all this beautiful grass. So I think what we should do now, actually, we'll let this do its thing. We'll let this finish off these last 1,000, and then we'll get back over there and carry on replacing the mycelium. Okay, so that's all done now. So let's grab this, and then we'll get back over to the base. Okay, so back over at the base, and we've got the digital miner now set up to replace the mycelium with the grass. So I'll just put all of the grass blocks in here, pretty much all of it anyway. There we go. So there's plenty there for it to get on with, so hopefully it should do the immediate area around my base anyway. So we'll leave that to do its thing. And I haven't gone through this again because I did go through the whole setup of this last time. So if you're interested in this process, go check out the last video. But today we're going to be doing something completely different. And as you can see, I have been doing a little bit of building. Nothing too technical, nothing too pretty to be honest, but I was just getting a bit bored with how the base was looking. It was just overhanging everywhere, and I've started trying to tidy up a little bit. So the grass is definitely going to help with that, but I really want to get some building done and start making this look a bit better as well. It's still not a building series, it's not going to be the main focus, but I don't want to look at horrible rooms like this. So this one is definitely going to change. I'm going to make this a little bit smaller because this is supposed to be like a workshop type area. So I don't want to run into every side of it. I'll probably move the storage drawers, which won't be fun, but I'll put those on like a dedicated storage level. And then, actually, these as well. I don't think I need the crafters up here. These should have been like a techie like type control room, and same with the disk drives as well. I'll just have the crafting grid and the other grids up here as like a control room. Then down below we've got our ore tripling setup. This will be moving because I want to upgrade this very soon to a ore quadrupling setup. And then we've got our power generation here, which is just the gas burning generator that comes from the ethylene, which comes from this thing. And then just round the back we have our main energy cube, and then usually on here I'll put my other energy cubes, the ones I use with the digital miner. And then round here as well, this is where the substrate goes. Actually, no, that goes upstairs now. And then over here, we just have the advanced infusing factories. Now, I either need to automate these or put them in the main workshop area. So I think that'd be the best thing to do, because this is probably still going to be a manual thing until I get an absolute ton of diamonds, because at the moment, I just don't. So this level, definitely going to change. Pretty much everything on here will disappear, and I'll repurpose it for something else. And then down here, this room's ugly as well. This is mainly just the mob spawners. And then we've got our enchantment factory here over here. And then at this end, we've got the latex processing. So it's a bit random, this one. Definitely want to move all this out. But last time, we started working on an area for the material stoneware factory. And I've definitely upgraded this. I like this area a lot now. Now, the more observant of you will notice, this looks completely different as well, and that is because I have actually upgraded the pack to 1.16.5, and that is because of these things. This feature I've used here didn't work in the version I was playing, which is 1.16.1, and I came up with a workaround where you put a hopper underneath these and had the storage drawers in front, but I thought to myself after I'd released the episode, why am I doing this? When there's a version where it actually works, why don't I just use that? So I spent a little bit of time upgrading the pack. It was a little bit of messing about, but we got there in the end, and this is now a working treat. So we've got these storage drawers above the material stoneware factories, and as you can see, they're all pretty much full. I didn't realise though I had upgraded the glass one, so we do have a storage upgrade in there, but that's alright, we'll get plenty of glass in there. The other thing I did was I completely automated the steel processing as well, because we are going to need a lot of steel. So this, very simple. Actually, let's go around the back and we'll see what we've got. So here we've just got the power running across the top and the bottom, and then we've got exporters from refined storage in these three. So we've got these two will be getting coal, because these are the enrichment chambers, and then the top one is iron. So I'll be exploring iron into this first metallurgic infuser. So go back to here. So these enrichment chambers both producing the enriched carbon from the coal, and then these push up automatically into the metallurgic infusers above. So then we have the iron going into this one, and that gets turned into the enriched iron. That gets pushed across to the right into the other metallurgic infuser, and the enriched iron gets turned into steel dust. That gets pushed into the energized smelter, and then that gets turned into steel. And then that is just stored in this storage drawer. And then behind that we have an external storage, so we can access this from our refined storage system. So if you just look for steel, you can see that going up. Is it going up? Yeah. So that is going up, and that is absolutely brilliant, because we are going to need a lot of steel. So if we just look at some of the things that steel is used for, it's a lot of the mechanism stuff, like all the tubes and the cables, they all need steel. And if we're using a ton of these, definitely going to need a lot of that. A lot of the higher end recipes, like the stuff from the power generators, use a lot of steel as well. And then also the steel blocks. I really like these things. I love the look of these things. So we may do a little bit of building with that. We also have the thermal evaporation block, and this is what I want to start getting into today. So I'll explain that in a moment, but we're definitely going to need a lot of steel for this, because we need quite a few of these blocks, and it is one steel per block basically. And then again, some of the generators as well. Pretty much everything in Mekanism needs steel, and you tend to need quite a lot of everything. So having a lot of steel to hand, definitely a good idea. So this room, this is basically what it's for. Anything that I can completely automate, and it's like a self-contained little system, I'm just going to have a section down here for it, and it can just be left running, and we'll always have it to hand when we go into our crafting grid. Okay, so the project for today is to get the thermal evaporation plant set up. And if I have enough time and enough resources, I might actually do two. So what do these things do? Let's have a look. The thermal evaporation controller, if we right click on this, it'll show us what recipes we can use. So what this thing does is takes water and outputs brine. And we can also, if we had a second one, input the brine, and then this will output lithium. So what do these two things do? So firstly, brine can be used in an electrolytic separator to make sodium and chlorine. And the chlorine can be combined with hydrogen, which is again very easy. And this will produce hydrogen chloride. And this is the thing we need to get into the ore quadrupling. So the chemical injection chamber is another machine that we put at the front of our ore tripling setup. And this produces 4 shards from each ore. And then these can just be put into our current setup, and then they'll go through the whole process and create an ingot at the end. So that's great. It's actually not that difficult to do the ore quadrupling. And then what was the other thing we was doing? Lithium as well. So lithium is the other thing I definitely want to get done. Where is it? Because I want to get this stuff, the lithium dust. Lithium is the item we need to craft up the blocks that we need to make the higher power storage setups from Mekanism. So at the moment, we use the energy cubes, which are great. You can hold a lot of power. But what the induction, I think it's called an induction matrix once you put it together, what they can do, they can hold a lot of power, but they're customizable. They're a multi-block structure, and you can make absolutely crazily huge ones, but you can also control how much power they can transfer, because that's where the energy cubes are limited. You can't actually transfer enough power. Once you have a really, really big setup, an energy cube is not going to do it. So you need to get into the induction matrix, and the lithium is what we need for that. So the first step, before we get ahead of ourselves, is to get some of these thermal evaporation things done. So I don't know how much we have, so I should probably set up some recipes for these. So let's go into our pattern grid, and then we'll do thermal, there we go, thermal evaporation block, and then we'll just create a pattern for that. We also need some of the valves, do that one, and then the thermal evaporation controller. Okay, so let's put these in our crafters somewhere. Let's just stick them all on the same line for now. That should be alright. And what we also need to top these is the solar panels. And I think it's the advanced ones that we need. Where are they? Advanced solar generator. So let's, oh, actually we need to make the other ones first. So let's do that. No. In the pattern grid, come on. Let's go solar. and then solar generator, and then we'll put that there, and then we also need the advanced one, so we'll have that as well. And then we'll just put these in the crafting manager, and I think that is pretty much all we need. So there is a bit of confusion with these thermal evaporation plants. One of the things with the thermal evaporation plant is they are biome dependent, but that is only when you don't have the solar generators. So if you put them in a desert, they will work better than if you put them in a plains or a cold biome. But that doesn't apply when you have the solar generators on top. So that basically increases how well they work regardless of the biome they're in. So that's why we need those. So if we just craft up 4, I think we need 4. Let's just do 4 for now, because we'll just do one of the thermal evaporation plants, and then we'll come back and do the rest later on. So 4 of those, solar panels, I need to do those as well. Right, let's go back, let's get another pan, put that there. Right, let's try that again. Let's go 4, and oh, I don't have glass. Right, I need to teach it how to make glass panes as well. Right, we definitely have a ton of glass, I know that, so we can just put that in there, and then we should be good. Okay, so let's try this again. Last time, definitely 4 of those, and we have everything. So now let's go. So if we just look in our crafting monitor, these are pretty much there. Okay, so we now have 4 advanced solar generators. Let's grab all of those. Oh, and these don't stack, so let's put those over there. And thermal blocks, right. So I want to make quite a big one of these. And I probably should have worked out how many I'm going to need. Let's just have a guess for now. Let's go with... Let's do a stack. Should we do a stack? Yeah. See how we get on with that. Oh, that's nothing. We can do a lot more than that. Let's do 4 stacks. Yeah, let's do that. Alright, and hopefully I've got everything I need to do these. I should have... Yeah. Operation controller. And I think I need 2 of these ports. Right, let's grab that. I didn't need to do the recipes for those, but, you know, that's alright. Okay, so let's grab a couple of stacks. That'll do for now. Let's just try with a couple of stacks first. Okay, so the first thing I need to do is actually figure out where these are going to go, because I think I want the control underground, but then I want the towers coming up above ground, because I think that could look pretty cool. So that's why I've done quite a few, so it's nice and tall and it'll hold a lot more. So let me figure this out, and I'll get a hole dug and we'll have a look in a second. Okay, so I think I've got a spot picked out for this now. So I'm just behind where my power generation and ore tripling setup is, and I've just got this square at the back here, and it's just a 4x4 square. That's how you need to build these things. So I've got a 4x4 square at the bottom, and then I'm just building up the sides and leaving this 2x2 in the center empty. So the reason I'm doing it here is because, contrary to what I just said, I think I might actually leave my ore processing setup down here, because this actually doesn't need to change. We just need an extra bit on the front to turn it into a quadrupling setup, and that's the little bit that we're doing now with the brine, and then a couple more things as well. But all I need to do really is move this power generation setup, so I'll probably put that at this side for now, because eventually we will be doing some really crazy power gen stuff, but this is definitely doing this for now. So I'll put that this side, connect it up to the power, and then we should have enough room to do the ore processing. But for now, we're not doing that. We're just going to get this thing set up. So if we just carry on building this up, and I think this should look really good. So I'll be able to control it from underground, but then I did actually want to see these above ground as well. So just so we've got some like technology above ground, hammer it home that this is definitely a modded series. So I'm just going to build this up. I'll probably use all these blocks actually. You can go crazy big with these things. And I did have 2 stacks, and I'm pretty much there with it now, so it's not going to be that big. But let's get this done. And we do need to leave the corners free at the top, but now I've got enough for a few more layers, so let's just keep going a bit. How are we doing? Actually, that wouldn't be enough, would it? No, right, so we'll stop there and give that a go. So what we need now is the advanced solar generators, so we'll put these in the corners. And that one there, and that one there. Now, what we need to do now is get on the ground and add in the controller, and that will complete it. But we also need to add the valves as well, but I think it'll actually form the multi-block structure without that. So let's just give this a go. We'll probably need the valves on this side, so we'll put the controller here. So that one there. Yeah, so that's formed as the structure now. So let's just, before it gets too hot, lost one there. So let's put that there, and then we'll have a valve there, and that will be the input. And then around here we'll have the output for the brine. Now I'm not going to have enough room here to do the other one for the lithium, but we'll probably change how we do this later on when we get into that. So at the moment you can see this is heating up. So what we need to do is start pumping water into this now, and that should be it. It should start producing the brine for us. So we'll just go quickly grab a sink. Okay, so we're going to put that directly there, that one there, and then we just need to change this to pull. We should be good. So let's have a look at this. Right, so the water is going into there now, and then we are producing brine. That is brilliant. So I think it's night time as well. I think that also affects it. So let me just go sleep. Okay, so we've slept the night away, so let's see if that's heating up again. Yeah, so that's going up again now. And as you can see, the brine production is absolutely crazy now that it's daytime. So already, I need to start piping this out. So let's get a tank. Put that one there. Pipe on there. And do we need to... yeah, I'll do that as well. So let's pull. And that's going in there. Excellent. Job done. Okay, so I've taken a little bit of time and I've actually expanded this up to the maximum height. So you'll see up here, we've got this one, and it is now 18 blocks high. So that is the maximum height that you can take this to. And now that will be producing crazy amounts. But there's actually too much at the moment, and as we're not using it, this advanced fluid tank is already full. Sorry, ultimate fluid tank is already full. Absolutely crazy amount. And then over here, we have a second one. But I have a problem. I made a bit of an error. Not with this. This is all built absolutely fine. But as you'll notice, I don't have any of the advanced solar generators on top. So, as you know, we have a recipe for that. So, let's have a look and look at the problem. So, I want 4 of these things. I'm missing iron. I don't have any iron at all. And that's because from my extremely clever setup that I showed you earlier that is producing steel, this has taken all of my iron. And I didn't think to put a limit on it so it would actually leave me some iron that I'll need. So I thought I had so much iron I wouldn't need to do that. I'd just be able to carry on and it'd be alright. But because I'll use iron for so many other crafts, I've completely run out. So unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to get this other one done. And between episodes, I think you know what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be taking this digital miner and moving it around somewhere because I have done it a lot in this area anyway, so I very much doubt there'll be any iron left under here. So I'm going to move this somewhere, set up the filter for the ores, and do a little bit more mining, and then we can process it. But before we process all of the iron, I will be getting the 4 times ore processing set up. So next time, that's what we're going to be doing. Hopefully, between episodes, I should have plenty of iron ore. And then we'll get this 4 times processing setup finished. And then we can start getting plenty of iron. So with that, I'm going to leave it there. So if you have enjoyed this episode, please leave a like. And I'll see you again next time. Thanks for watching, everyone. Bye-bye.